I think Omara was a pretty smart guy. He has honor. He doesn't heed to all the rules. What those guys had back then was conviction.
Light him up!
He was a cop before he left to the war. He was a hero in the war, and then he came back, and he's looking at this city that's just been covered in scum and soot from East Coast. Mickey Cohen's basically raped their city dry of any honor.
1992, I had written about a squad in the early 1950s. The next day, my phone rings. You made a mistake. It started in the 1940s with the Gangster squad. I said, how do you know? Well, I was on it. And that was Jack Omara. And I said, what are you doing tomorrow? Next day, I was in Omara's house. His wife, Connie, is a real figure. Every once in a while, she'd say, do you really want to say that?
Omara was very studious and very quiet kind of a cop.
In our movie, this baby is a little boy, but in truth, this baby was a girl, and I got to meet her, and that was amazing. And she had a scrapbook with pictures of the actual family and herself when she was a baby, and it made it all so real.
I think if you want to know what essentially makes my father a good cop was probably the fact that he went away to war for the U.S. Coast Guard. Now, when he came back from the war, the situation in Los Angeles was worse. Because a majority of the policemen had gone off to war, the city was left without a lot of protection, and so even more hoodlums came in. When I was about 4, my father started taking me with him places. He was going to meet with gangsters and with his informants. I was actually never aware that my father was dealing with gangsters. To me, they were just people that we went to see. I didn't really know cognitively that he was a cop. I thought actually he was Superman. That's what I thought. He slept during the day, he got up at night, you know, so I thought he was Superman.
Talking to the families, that's emotional. You know, it's very emotional. So to hear stories, to hear Omara's daughter talk about who he was and who his mother was, and it was just a godsend.
One of the daughters of Jack Omara was remembering how as a little girl, she would crawl around the house, went under mommy's and daddy's bed, and there it was. That's where he kept the Tommy gun and other weapons.
My dad first used to keep the Tommy guns in these beautiful cases under the bed, and I used to always get into them, and so they'd move them. And every time they moved them, I found them. I'm so excited. My father would be so excited.
As long as they're happy with it and they have some pride around what we're doing, because we are presenting him as somebody good, it's a nice boost to have them around.